Welcome to Matinee Heroes presents CastOFF Game 2. I am your host, Craig Price, and we have a great show for you today. We've got the second round of the playoffs. If you missed last week, we had Patrick Beatty defeating Rob Irvin as they recast Jurassic Park. It was a overtime victory, and not something I like. It gets real nerve-wracking when you guys get into overtime. I don't want to take all that responsibility. So today, we've got two great guests. And, of course, this is the show where we take two contestants of high quality, like tonight, and have them recast your favorite actors in movies that you love. And tonight we have Steve and Valerie. But let's get right into the. I've got this we got new music, so I want to make sure we use all the new music that we can. No, that's the wrong music. See, that's how great that music is. It's new. So let's see if I can get, well, screw it. We're just going to, no playoff music. We're just going to go right into, I had a whole new thing. We got Game 2 coming on with Valerie Cameron and Steve Kondrick. Steve, how are you guys?
Good. How are you doing over there with all your buttons?
Oh, it's awful. I need an assistant. I've already pushed things. I've got so much going on. It's just not working tonight. I don't know why things are going so slow. But yes, if I had an assistant and if I had a better computer, we'd be doing great. Our first all Utah. Oh, see, look at that. Because Steve just dropped out, and that's why. That's a lot of my head. Yeah. In one screen. Yeah, this is what happens when things go bad. So Steve is gone. This is the first time this has happened. So let's
look at all those Val heads.
Yeah, let's do this, Val. We'll talk to you until Steve can get back. You are on the Multiplane podcast. Is my system going?
Oh no, everything's frozen.
Yeah, there you go. I think you're fine right there.
Okay, great.
But yeah, I don't know where Steve dropped out. I don't know if it's me or if it's Steve or what's going on. It's the first time that's happened.
Well, I did notice he was wearing the same color shirt as he was previously in the picture. So maybe he realized, oh crap, I always wear green shirts, and he went to change his shirt. I don't know. Maybe he realized he hasn't showered or something.
Yeah, that could be it. So talk about what's going on with the Multiplane podcast.
Multiplane podcast, we are really excited because this week we are going to go all in on some changes. We're going to talk about Tron 3. We're going to talk about the parks shutting down again, some parks that are opening that shouldn't be opening. We're going to talk about Phineas and Ferb. And I want to say congratulations to Tyler and his wife, because I'm pretty sure they might be having their baby this week. I don't know.
Oh.
But they might. So I'm crossing my fingers. Good thoughts for them. But we'll see if he's on the show tomorrow or not. If he's not, then you'll know what he will be doing. But I will be on with him and James Estrada tomorrow, or me and just me and James. So we'll see. But yeah, we're going to talk about Phineas and Ferb and Tron 3, because he's a total Tron lover, that Ty of mine on the Multiplane podcast.
Yeah, and I was on recently to do James and the Giant Peach, which was an odd thing. And this is, I know it's a movie, and I don't have a setup where it's just the two of us. It's just I'm going to go back and forth a little bit.
Okay. Because
I'll go back, so you don't have to always be on yourself, because I know that can be a lot of pressure when you're just staring at answering all these questions. And until Steve gets back, if Steve ever gets back,
I hope he gets back. Is he afraid of me? I hope he's.
He should be. He should be. I know that's the weird thing, is that so we've got about 5 people who have made predictions, and I know 2 out of the 5 have picked you as the winner, and I know a lot of the people here. Let's see what happens when I do this, if Steve is back or not. I know a lot of pressure. Yeah, I think you're great. Don't get me wrong, Val. I think you're great.
Right, but I'm not like that great.
I just don't know why people are freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah. So let's see if Steve is coming back at some point in the near future. Steve is in a small bunker just outside of, I guess, Ogden, Utah, and
yeah, he's a little past Ogden for sure.
Yeah, he's in Eden, right?
He is in Eden, and maybe that's the problem. There's not a whole lot out there. It's really pretty, but not a whole lot out there. So.
Oh well.
I blame Craig.
So Steve is back. He's just in audio form. So
yeah,
and trying to bring the video up.
Well, we'll just get you going. There he is. So
hey,
Steve,
everybody.
You dropped out right in the middle. You're the first one in the playoffs. Good timing.
Extra point. Yeah.
Yeah, you get extra points for that. First, you don't show up for the big stunt spectacular, and now you screw up game 2. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Wow.
I'm sure this won't affect the judging at all. What's been going on over there? What's been going on over there at Everything I Love with everything I learned from movies?
Basically right now we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the internet with movies like Hackers and Lawnmower Man 2 Job's War. And then next month, I guess, we're going to Nick August Cage. So, good times.
Celebrating the internet by dropping out. And
exactly. Well, my internet's still from 1995, so apparently that's playing in.
Are you using one of those old DSL dial-up modems that...
one moment. Let me put on my Johnny Mnemonic VR helmet here. And all right.
Well, let's get to the rules, because I think we've stalled quite a bit. The rules as it is right now, we're going to name an actor. Then you're going to pick a person, an actor, to replace that actor. The best choice gets 1 point. If you happen to pick my secret selection, that's an additional point. And there is a good chance, but not always, that sometimes that the secret selection is also the best choice. And that could get you 2 points. So you're never really out of it. Obviously, the person with the most points wins. But I also want to make sure that I thank Carrie Gordon and Alan Cerny, because they are our additional judges. I didn't want this all to be up to me. So I sent them your picks in advance, because if you don't, full disclosure, everybody sent their picks to me in advance so I could have the images ready for the show. And I sent the names along without attaching who picked them, and they decided. And whoever got the most points, 2 out of the 3 won the thing. So if there is a tie, there will be a double feature to win, which means you will have to tell me a double feature on the spot, and that's when I become judge, jury, and executioner and pick the winner. Just to remind everybody that all CastOFF episodes are sponsored by Matinee Heroes, and this weekend, Randy Yarborough comes on to talk about Dunkirk, because we are celebrating No Lie, which is Christopher Nolan month, the full month of July. Every month, including our Patreon, is a Christopher Nolan classic, and Dunkirk. So you can go to matineeheroes.com, subscribe to the podcast, or you can go to matineeheroes.com/castoff, where you can subscribe to us here at the video stream. So we would love to, because the more people who subscribe to the video stream, the more likely we can get a custom URL, and it won't have to go to some weird multi-numbered system. So are you guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Steve.
Let's do it.
We are doing Independence Day. We're upholding a long tradition here at Matinee Heroes of making sure we celebrate holidays 1 week too late. This should have been last week's entry, but just like May the 4th.
14th of July, everybody.
Yep. Just like May the 4th, we did not do Star Wars. That was stupid. We should have, it's perfect timing. We ended up doing Star Wars a week late. We've got Independence Day, which is a fantastic movie. So we're going to start with Val, because Val is the top seed. Val, who do you have playing the fantastic and wonderful Will Smith role of Captain Hiller?
I have the amazingly talented and handsome Michael B. Jordan.
Of course you do. Of course you do, because Michael B. Jordan is known, he's the go-to guy for everything. He is Creed, Black Panther, Friday Night Lights. He was just in that wonderful Just Mercy. Perfect pick. You know how I know it's a perfect pick?
Huh.
Steve, what did you pick?
Oh!
I picked Michael B. Jordan.
That's right. Otherwise known as being Valerie's pick. You mean that guy from the Fantastic Four?
Utah loves Michael Jordan. What can I say?
I love Michael B. Jordan.
This is the Michael Jordan that you guys love. You guys don't like the actual Michael Jordan, but Michael B. Jordan you do love.
I do.
No,
I'm okay with the other one.
You're okay with the Chicago Bulls,
okay with
Michael Jordan?
Jeffrey.
Okay. So this one is really weird, because you got Michael B. Jordan, Valerie. Steve Kondrick got Michael B. Jordan. And I picked Michael B. Jordan. We are so basic.
3 points all around.
We are so basic. We couldn't even think right. We just go Michael B. Jordan.
We're not basic. We're amazing, and all of our minds are amazing.
Well, this has never happened before, where we had 2 people pick the secret selection, which means you automatically get 2 points to start off.
Awesome.
But it is all cosmetic, because if everybody gets 2 points, that means nobody gets 2 points, because we're all tied. But Well done, Michael B. Jordan, all around. Right now, there is some internet nerd typing, going, "I would have picked it wrong. You picked the wrong person. It's Michael B. Jordan."
The right person is Michael B. Jordan.
So, because we all picked the same person, I'm going to start over from scratch. We're going to start with Valerie again because this was just ridiculous. Now we'll actually start because everybody gets 2 free points. Look at that. So we start off with Bill Pullman's fantastic President Whitmore. Oh, if we only had a real president like President Whitmore right now.
Right? You
So-
are so right.
So,
And I picked Sterling K.
yeah,
Brown.
as I am clicking way too fast because I'm getting way too much things going on. What do you love about Sterling K. Brown?
So with Sterling K. Brown on This Is Us, and we've seen him in, a bunch of other roles, he is that character where he is the father figure, he is the leader. He can be really passionate and outspoken, but he is also very calm. And I would believe that he could lead us, to the point where we need to in this movie. He's just has this ambiance about him and the swagger about him that he's not going to overplay Michael B. Jordan with that character, because you don't want him to be too starry. He's just very composed, he's very handsome, and I feel like he can totally take us to where we need to be in this movie.
A Barack Obama wannabe, I can absolutely see that.
Whoa!
What? He would be a perfect Barack Obama-esque type
Wow, Craig.
president. That was a compliment.
Like
Yeah,
that, huh?
yeah,
If you,
that's fine. I didn't. Yeah, sure.
I mean, he's Barack Obama with glasses. What are you talking about? So
They're both very handsome people.
very handsome, very smart, and very capable. So I actually liked
Yeah.
him in Hotel Artemis. I didn't really like
I
the
did
movie that
too.
much. I just keep going back to it because you got Jeff Goldblum, who's really good in it. You've got Jodie
Yes.
Foster, who's amazing in it. Sterling's great in it.
Batista.
Dave Bautista's great in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Steve, who do you have as the President of the United States?
Well, with all due respect to Daniel Day-Lewis and others who have portrayed presidents over the years, I went with the greatest film president of all time, Harrison Ford, circa Air Force One.
Of course you did.
I mean, you can see him as a fighter pilot, like the character that Bill Pullman plays. Was it Whitmore? I don't know, whatever. But but yeah, plus, he's an old white guy, so if it's the time of the movie.
Okay, I guess.
Plus it's just Harrison Ford. I mean, come on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, what's he known
By the
for?
way, happy birthday yesterday.
Absolutely. 78 years old, and he could still kick anyone's ass. That's the thing. He can't outrun Ryan Gosling, because I saw him in Blade Runner 2049, but I'm pretty sure he could beat the hell out of him, because he did punch him pretty good.
Well, this is more like fugitive time for, the 90s Harrison Ford,
Well, and that picture was directly from Air Force One, so that's the kind of president you want.
Yeah.
So we've got Sterling K. Brown, Harrison Ford. I was looking for an Aaron Eckhart type, Harvey Dent. And so,
Sturdy chin.
So, Steve, I think you've been on the show enough. You know that I can't go against Harrison Ford unless it's Jake Dietz on the show. Jake still won't let me forgive himself for not picking him for James T. Kirk, which I still don't believe he'd be a good Captain Kirk.
Yeah, that's odd. But,
Well,
Harrison Ford's more of a Bones, I would say.
yeah, he's definitely more of a cranky pants. So now we get back-to-back weeks with the great Jeff Goldblum playing David Levinson. So, Steve, who do you have playing? And it's almost impossible to do so. How do you have replacing the great Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, this was a tough one. I'm not going to lie, but I was looking for someone who was a great actor, but also a little quirky. So I was thinking late 70s Christopher Walken, like Deer Hunter and like The Dead Zone, like that time frame. Before he kind of went View to a Kill and Batman Returns, which of course I love, but post head injury, it's a little over the top.
Post head injury. Are you thinking of Steve?
He fell off a horse.
Oh, did he? Okay, I thought you were getting him confused with Gary Busey. I'm like, good lord.
Oh, similar, but no, it's and of course he's a talented dancer, which you can always have in your scientist.
Yeah. Now, Val, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you pick a very young Christopher Walken for your first appearance on the show?
I did.
So you guys are already syncing up mentally. Who do you have replacing Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, I kind of went a little bit of a different direction, and I picked Liev Schreiber.
Ooh.
He's a great actor. I've seen him both in hunky roles and in nerdy roles. With Kate and Leopold, you see him like fumbling around and kind of being this, kind of nerdy guy that is wanting to figure out science and time travel. And then, in Ray Donovan, he's this hunky guy. And I think that is this character. He is like this very good looking guy, but in an odd way, but he's also very smart and he can take charge. And I think Liev Schreiber is all of those things. He can kind of be nerdy and clunky, but then he can also take charge and, do what he needs to do. So I went that direction.
Well, we've got Christopher Walken, which is hard to beat, and Liev Schreiber, who I've had. Now, this is the one thing. My autocorrect will not let me put in Liev Schreiber.
It'll do that.
I have put it in 15 times in a row, telling him that is an acceptable word. And I've met Liev Schreiber live at the MoMA. He's a great guy. He's tall. I was a lot bigger than I thought he would be because he's a little hulking.
Yeah.
And I think that might go against you when we thought about this, because I was thinking more of like a Paul Rudd, kind of a goofy.
He was my second choice, was Paul Rudd, but I thought it was a little too quirky. But also, if we're going to go with the actor that's already there, is super tall. So.
Yeah, but it's not the tall, it's not the height, it's the width. And it looks like the group has decided it's Christopher Walken, and with that, Steve jumps out to a 2-point lead. But all of these are really close. So
great picks.
Now we move on to the First Lady, played by Mary MacDonald. And so, Val, who do you have playing the First Lady?
I went with Thandie Newton. Of course, I wanted to see who was going to be exactly opposite of Sterling K. Brown. She is just a powerhouse. She can be quiet if she needs to be quiet. She can take over a room. She is totally made to be the First Lady, I think. And she very much has that elegance that I feel a First Lady has, but she also has really good acting chops. So I'm going to go with I'm not going to answer that little giggle, but I think her with Sterling K. Brown doing what she needs to do in the White House, like she's got it going on.
I'm not going to lie. Her with Harrison Ford, her with anybody would be a good match. Whoever is matched up
with her.
Yeah, I would. Whoever's matched up with Thandie Newton, they are in the lesser position because Thandie is awesome. So
sorry, the giggle was for the known for being an English goddess. That's what the giggle was.
Yes,
okay.
She is. I mean, I
didn't read that until just now.
Yeah. Are you disagreeing with that statement?
Oh no. It was just that it was up there.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So all I can say is beat that, Steve.
Well, with President Harrison Ford, who better for a First Lady Whitmore than the late Carrie Fisher? I mean, come on.
Well,
she's strong, she's smart, elegant, all the things you want in a First Lady, and also a little bit of a foul mouth. Which, I mean, come on, you can work that into the movie somehow.
Will Gary make an appearance?
Sure.
Do you know who Gary is?
No.
Her dog.
Yeah, her dog. Her little French bulldog, Gary.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Man, I should take you points away for not knowing who Gary is.
For not knowing who the first dog would be.
I totally agree with that. If you don't know who Gary is, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, Steve. So Thandie Newton, we got Carrie Fisher. I was looking for a Laura Dern type to go with my Aaron Eckert. So we got to go with Thandie Newton because she is awesome, which then brings Valerie just 1 point shy, which means, at the rate we're going, we're all kind of in the same fishbowl. I think the odds are you could get back rather quickly. So let's move on to the star of the show. The absolutely crazy, and I'm not sure he's acting in this movie, Randy Quaid as Russell. Steve, who do you have playing the crazy, wacky, yet correct conspiracy theorist?
Well, someone who may be crazy, but also a very talented actor, as we've seen in recent movies. I went with Joaquin Phoenix.
No joke. He went with Joaquin Phoenix, who he's not in a lot of movies, but every movie he is in, he kills. So, yeah. Do you think he can go that crazy, though?
Oh, absolutely. He can do whatever he wants.
But well, my concern is that all the crazy that he does is like, oh, we need to put this person in a home and keep him under surveillance. Where Randy is more like, he's just crazy. So Val, who do you have playing the wacky?
This is probably my favorite pick, and probably like you would have never expected it, but I'm going with it, and that's Jim Gaffigan. I think he is hilarious. He's been in a lot of movies lately, so not just doing stand-up. I watch him on social media doing all of his stuff at home with his family, and I just think he totally is that dad that is crazy. He can hone in his craft, and I've seen him be like kind of serious, but I can see him going straight for that ship and screaming, and I just think Jim Gaffigan would be like the best role for this.
Well, we get no advertising for this, but Jim Gaffigan's The Pale Tourist comes out in 2 weeks on Amazon. So he's got a new comedy special, 100% always funny. So we've got Joaquin Phoenix. We've got Jim Gaffigan. I was looking for a Will Ferrell type. So I think we know where this is heading, to a Jim Gaffigan and to a tie. We are all tied up with 2 to go. This is getting neck and neck.
Thanks for saving my butt, Jim.
It's coming back.
So now we go with Vivica A. Fox's Jasmine Dubrow, or Dubrow. I'm not sure how I know it's Jasmine. That's all. She's got a dancer name. So who do you have, Valerie, as a dancer for this role?
Jasmine is not just a dancer. She is a kick butt lady who has to like pull it all together and save people and like get to a place without having any man help her out. Like, she is doing it herself. She's a mom. She's dating, of course, Will Smith's character. So she's got to like be able to carry it on her own. And so I thought another person that's like that is Rosaria Dawson. Like, she is a kick butt lady. She can get there. She's super sexy. She can totally dance. I would watch her dance all day long. So I think Rosario Dawson. Yeah.
Well, she is. If she's good enough to date Cory Booker, she's good enough for me. 'Cause I think that's the best decision Cory Booker's ever made, because running for president was not. So Rosario Dawson's fantastic. And yes, we've gotten political this particular one. I don't know why. We're just brushing the edges. I think the most shade I've thrown is Cory Booker's biggest decision was to date Rosario Dawson. Like, you have to think about that. So Steve, it is now your turn. You have to come up and find someone who can outdo Rosario Dawson. And
well, Valerie did bring up some great points about what the character is supposed to be, and a strong, independent woman, single mother. I went with Tessa Thompson. Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson together. I mean, what's not to like?
Well, she's absolutely a badass, and she's great as Valkyrie. She's great in Men in Black, even though that movie was not good. So we'll move on.
And also the dance scene, when there's an alien invasion going on, you have to jump to the strip club for like 3 seconds. I mean, Tessa Thompson.
Sure. I mean, this one, of all of them, except for the first one was the hardest one to pick from. I couldn't decide which Michael B. Jordan to go with. But of all the ones, this one is the most difficult. And this is the one we had to have a summit meeting about. Because Rosario Dawson is fantastic. And Tessa Thompson is fantastic. I was looking for...
We've already seen that movie, though. Like, we've already seen Tessa Thompson with Michael B. Jordan. So,
Yeah,
you say that like that's a bad thing. Like, we can't see Tessa Thompson and We saw Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks in 5 movies.
That's it?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just trying to be original here.
Well, it paid off because you actually got the point, Valerie. she was trying to badmouth us and guilt us into picking, but we already had Rosario.
He told me. Steve said badmouth. I'm trying to play the game.
But you're not supposed to badmouth the judges. You're supposed to badmouth him.
Oh, I'm not. I was badmouthing his decision for Tessa Thompson.
All right. Well, now we get to the strange and the weird, and Steve is with us still, but he has been locked into time. So, Steve, are you still with us? Steve is not with us.
Okay.
No. We're gonna have to wait until Steve comes back, because it'll screw up my all the order of all this, because that's the one thing is that. At this rate, I think we're just gonna have to disqualify him so he doesn't come back. I don't know. If this is what we got to live with Steve, this is why he.
Oh my gosh. I started bad mouthing, like he said, like razzing him, and he ran away.
Yeah, he's such a man child. Not a problem. No, we'll wait. We'll wait for him to get that hamster back online because he's living out there in Eden.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's Eden. No shirt, no shoes, no internet. Apparently.
Have you streamed any like new stuff over this last weekend? Like, did you watch Greyhound, the new Tom Hanks movie?
No, I did. I had to watch the Old Guard though.
I did watch Old Guard. What did you think about it? What's your grade for that movie?
That's about. Look at now we've turned this into one of your shows, but that's fine. This is a good stall tactic. I like you, Val. You're doing a great job.
I know what I'm doing, man.
Yeah, B98.7 has hired the right person because you know how to fill time. Absolutely, I thought it was a B, but I thought
that's what I gave it.
But I thought Charisse, as always, was in top form. She's fantastic. The story is kind of yeah.
Yeah, the stories. I mean, there are some holes in the story. There's some holes in the filming. I did think it was entertaining. I watched it with my boyfriend, and then we talked for about an hour after the movie about like what we would do with our time, like because she felt like the whole movie that she had wasted her opportunity with all the time that she had. So we really talked about like if we were immortal, like what would we do, especially with everything going on in the world right now. So it's a really good like watch it with someone that then you can dissect it and talk about it afterward, because I think that was just as fun as the movie.
And then we saw Palm Springs, which I liked.
Oh, okay. I did not watch that.
It's a little slow in the second half.
Okay.
And all right, it's a little slow, but I did like some of the science.
Okay, nice. I'll put that one on my list.
Okay, and
is he back yet?
And I did get a message from him, so we just have to stall a little bit more.
He's trying.
Because
I did start streaming. I did start watching the new Zac Efron Netflix show.
Oh, with his dad beard.
Yes, and it's such a good show. And on episode 3, I have to tell you, and we talked about this yesterday on Movies That Make Us, but they talk about a sustainable fart bag. And so if you're all into like...
I saw the fart bag. I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah, so basically they go to all of these places that have sustainable energy, and there's a place that actually takes the methane gas from our waste, from their waste, from people waste, and they put it in these bags that then creates heat, but that heat does not smell like farts. So that's good.
Or so they say.
I mean, none of their faces. Like, I watched their faces the whole time because Zac Efron, like, tries a whole bunch of food, and I think there's a few times where that food probably tasted like crap, but he was really nice about it because his face was speaking something else.
Yeah, and then you get those vacation farts because you've been eating all these weird foods that you don't normally eat. You know what that's like, and you travel, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna eat this, and you've had like a dessert every night and you're like, I never have this much, and then you have the weird combinations of foods and smells that you never smell. So that was
the best. That's the best.
So he's just traveling around? Is that all he's doing, or is it just all about fart bags?
No, he's traveling with a guy that he met, and I can't think of his name right now because it's the end of a long day for me, and you know how I get. But he met this guru years and years ago who wrote a book on basically eating clean and sustainable energy and all these things. And so he thought that they would put together this show, and they would travel around the world and show people the different ways that you can live clean, eat clean, and do all of that. And they went to Iceland, and apparently Iceland's like, they're doing it right over there. They don't waste one bit of food or energy, and they create almost all of their energy themselves. And it's a pretty cool show. It's pretty fun.
Oh, pretty fun. I will have to check it out. I'm not a big Zac Efron fan, but
I just think lately I've needed fun. I am a big Zac Efron fan because he's hot, and I can say that now that he's 32, and I don't feel bad about it anymore. But I've been watching. What?
He's only 32?
He's 32.
God, he's been around forever. I always thought he was like 38. He's got to be older than that. Not that he looks it. I mean,
no, but yeah, you're right. Because when I worked for Disney and we were teaching all of these kids how to do the High School Musical dances, and they're like, "Ooh, he's super dreamy." I felt weird saying that because like this 10-year-old thinks he's dreamy, so I can't feel that way. But now that he's 32 and he's out of that, I can totally say he's hot. So I like his beard.
you sound like one of those creepy people who had Kate and Mary Ann Olsen's birthday memorized, so when they turned 18. Creeps.
Gross. No.
You're like, now that I know he's he's
he
legal.
was totally legal then. I just felt weird having a crush on someone a 10-year-old had a crush on.
Well,
oh look,
I mean,
Steve is back.
We'll
stop
see if
talking
Steve is
about
back.
awkward things.
Yeah, we'll see if Steve's back. So far.
Oh my gosh. This went to a weirdly awkward
This is
place.
what happens when you're on live television. Steve is back.
Way to stick me, Steve.
Yeah, this is not going to bode well for long term.
I was over here just like doing a dance, trying to keep everything entertaining.
Yeah, don't move, Steve, because then we'll know. Actually, we probably still need to move so we know that you haven't disappeared.
Still here, still moving.
All right. So when last we left you, we were getting ready to talk about weirdest name, Dr. Brackish Okun, played by the amazing Brent Spiner. And we also know that Valerie is up by 1 point, so you need this one, Steve. Who do you have playing the amazing Dr. Brackish, which is a bunch of kind of weird, salty but not salty water, Okun?
So lightly salted water. Yes. For Dr. Okun, I, of course, brought prestige with Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage to this amazing film. I mean, who else can play a crazy doctor better than Nicolas Cage? He's about the right age. He obviously already has the proper hair and facial hair. I'm assuming the build is probably Con Air rocking under the coat, but that's not going to matter in this movie. I mean, it's Nicolas Cage all day, every day. And you know he has to be in every movie.
Well, that's right. He's known for doing any role in any movie at any time for any amount of money. And he ran into some IRS problems and said, I will just do whatever. And he literally has been in everything. So you get a wide variety. If there is a person who you could name a spectrum after, it is Nicolas Cage. Because there is a spectrum of Cage, whether he is amazing like Leaving Las Vegas or he's crazy like in Mandy. Nick Cage, this is one of the few times, Steve, that I could actually probably agree with you. That Nick Cage. I mean,
I'm excited now.
Yeah, I know, because Nick Cage playing a wackadoodle? Yes. Valerie, who do you have?
I went with a different wackadoodle because I definitely think this person is equally as crazy, but maybe keeps it on the down low, except for when he's at award shows, and that's Adrian Brody.
That's right. And he was got the hottest thing in the early aughts when he came out with The Pianist and King Kong, and then kind of disappeared a little bit.
Which is why I think he would do this part in this movie, and I think he totally has the aesthetics for it, and he's the right kind of crazy. I feel like he could totally get this, and he's hurting to do something, so I think he would totally do it.
He also has experience fighting aliens from Predators.
He does, so I think he fits right in here with this cast.
I like your requirements. He will take the job because he needs it. So as a producer, you're thinking the right way. I like the way you're thinking. So we have Nicolas Cage. We've got Adrian Brody. I was looking at a Jim Carrey type because if you've seen him lately, not only has he lost some weight and he's looking thin, he looks healthy, but he just looks thinner than we've ever seen him before. He looks a little crazier than ever before. And that's why the triad of both myself, Carrie Gordon, and Alan Cerny went with Nicolas Cage. And with that, for the second week in a row, and I do not like this. I do not like doing tiebreakers.
I don't like it either.
This is a tiebreaker. So we do have a tiebreaker, guys, and so this is going to be a little bit more of I need to put a little bit of a visual on it. Let's see how. There we go. So this is the coin. It's the same one from last week because I don't have an Independence Day coin, but I did have a Jurassic Park Lego stand. That was what that was. So this is heads. Oh, this is tails. Yep.
This show is doomed today.
It is. It is doomed. This has been...
It's Independence Day. We're going down.
I know. You know what? It's a virus. Somebody, we need to get
Craig, can we pick this up? I'm about to lose internet again.
Yeah, I know. We need to get a Macintosh to inject a virus into the computer. So here are the tiebreaker rules. The higher seed will call the flip. So Valerie, you're going to call heads or tails.
Okay.
Whoever wins that is going to name the movie. This is a double feature, so you pick a movie that you feel would be a good complementary movie, whether in tone, whether in subject matter. But all you're going to do is tell me the name of the movie. And then we're going to go to the next person. They're going to name a movie. And then each person has 60 seconds, 1 minute to defend their pick. And then I pick the winner. So this is where it gets ugly. This is where I do not like this part, because now I
Congratulations, Valerie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that. I mean, if we were going to...
It's true.
If we were voting
so
on...
you guys both... I just want to say you both picked the most expensive cast of people for a movie of this rate. I just want to let you know.
Yeah. Oh no, all the movies. This is why we love CastOFF, because there is no budgetary concerns, so we're not stuck with having to get a poor man's Michael B. Jordan. You know.
Yeah, there's no constraints like time in this one.
Yeah, or money, or desire. So this is it. I'm going to flip it. So Valerie, you're going to call it in the air here. And
all
go
right.
ahead.
Tails.
All right. Heads it is. So, unfortunately, Steve, you go first. So, sorry, Val, you picked it. So, unfortunely for Steve.
That's fine.
Yes, unfortunately, I go first, Valerie. Sorry.
No.
Dang it.
Well, she picked it, so it is unfortunate for her. So, Steve, what is your double feature?
Air Force One.
Air Force One. All right. So, Val, what is your double feature?
Mars Attacks.
All right. So, Steve, since my computer's going real slow too, so it must be, I'm telling you, it is because there's some alien infection inside this, just like in Independence Day. Steve, you've got 60 seconds. Explain to me why Air Force One is good with Independence Day.
Because it's amazing action movie, very patriotic with the whole Independence Day, 4th of July, rah America in the 90s, blah, blah, blah. President Harrison Ford fighting Gary Oldman, who I think is supposed to be Russian, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It's just an amazing, fun time. And of course, after watching Independence Day, why not follow it up with President kicking ass?
Well, that's a really good double feature. Val, Mars Attacks. Why?
I think, well, this movie, obviously Independence Day, we're fighting some aliens. We have some really kooky characters. And I think you're already in the mood for action, kooky, and ridiculousness. So why would you want to go on the more serious route? You want to keep the ride going. You want to keep that action. You want to get a little more weird than the movie that you just watched. And so you're going to want to go with Mars Attacks because you're going to keep laughing. It's going to get a little more weird, and you can just keep along fighting aliens because you're already in the mood for that.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they come out in the same year?
They did.
So in fact, they may even have come out in the same month.
Yeah, I think they were like 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
So, I hate to say it, but yep, it was meant to be. Val, you won. That is, you gotta go with that.
Congratulations.
You've got a stupid alien movie with another stupid alien movie. So Val, no, and that is legit. I mean, that's why I hate this, because I had to wait, because Air Force One is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love Air Force One. I just
as soon as she said Mars Attacks, I'm like, yeah, she's won.
Okay, good. Because this is where I'm like, oh, is it going to seem like favoritism because Steve's internet sucks? No, it's just coincidence.
No, you can't blame it on Ellen this time.
You're right. So Val, you get our final thought. What is your final thought today?
This was so much fun. I'm sorry that Steve kept on blooping out, but this was so much fun. I'm now even more nervous because I'm going up against someone that I actually used to be my employee. So this is a little interesting.
You and Patrick Beatty, he used to work for you?
I was his mentor, and he worked for me for almost 2 years. So this is going to be a really interesting cast off.
And what was the job?
So I was running the director of the Pride Festival in 2016. Okay. And then I also run MarvelNews.com. And so he did a lot of stuff, but he was basically my production assistant for every event that I had that year, plus the websites and content and everything. So he just kind of ran around making sure stuff got done.
Wow. Yeah. So this is going to be.
He knows my brain.
Oh, the teacher, the student may beat the master at this. You don't know what this is going to be.
The young Padawan might become a Jedi.
Oh, Valerie, make sure you have the high ground. That's all I can suggest.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about next week. We have next week for Game 3. We've got Randy Yarborough from the Cult 45 podcast up against Luke Hunsaker from the Nerd Dome podcast. The movie that Randy didn't watch and still won. So he did not watch Smokey and the Bandit, just watched some trailers and asked some folks. He won his round to get in, where Luke, I think it was one of his favorite movies, Alien, where Randy, not only did he have some great picks, they also had, on Randy's episode, they also had two people pick the same one. They both picked John Goodman as Buford T. Justice.
Nice.
And so 4 out of 7. The best pick, I think, was David Koechner as Big Enos Burdett. And we have to go with Gary Oldman as Obi-Wan because it was one of Craig's picks. It was one of my picks. So now, what movie are they going to do? Well, these two butch guys have to do The Princess Bride.
Yes.
So that'll be a great one because not only is The Princess Bride a fantastic movie for all time, but with Quibi doing their new homebrew situation, they're going to have a lot of people up for recasting, and nobody can complain about, I can't possibly think of somebody as Fezzik. Well, go watch Quibi. You can see them do Fezzik a bunch of different times. But once again, I want to thank both Valerie. I had to wait until Steve finished moving his camera. I want to
Steve, you're such a problem.
I know. I was gonna bring it back earlier, but all of a sudden he's moving around. I'm getting seasick.
You're such a diva, Steve.
You're such.
I get the lighting just right.
This is now you know why I like Izzy so much.
Everybody likes Izzy. It's like you and Heather. Everybody loves Heather.
Oh, I know. Everybody loves Heather multiple times. I love Heather more than I love me. That's easy. That one's an easy one. Everybody loves Heather. But Steve, thank you so much. Val, congratulations. We will see you in about 3 weeks when you go up against Patrick Beatty. But once again, folks, you have been listening and watching Cast Off, presented by Matinee Heroes. So I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week when we do The Princess Bride.